So do you guys have any questions? Do you have any questions before we begin? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the
1, 2, 3. Welcome to the Off the Grid podcast. This is episode number 1. And I will be interviewing. Do you want to introduce yourself? Girl next to me. Do you want to introduce yourself? What is your name?
Julie.
Julie what?
Santana.
Santana, okay. And you want to introduce yourself over there on the far right?
I'm also Julie.
You're Julie as well, okay. Nice to meet you.
Kaya.
Julie. Kaya what?
Lapik.
Laptic, okay. Laptic, right?
No. Yeah.
Laptic, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I heard Laptic, but okay, let's keep going. So, obviously I have you guys here, and in this episode, I want to ask you guys like a series of questions. The point of this whole video is to be very informative towards students, that are going to be going to college first time. I want you guys to give positive feedback and I want you guys to tell me your reason. Why are you going to college? So you can start, whoever wants to start speaking first could just start speaking. Make sure you talk into the mic.
I want to go to college because I want to be in the medical field and I want more education based around the medical field. So I'm going to be smarter.
Did you always know you wanted to go to college, or is it like something new? Or
my whole family's been to college, so it's always something that I knew I was going to end up doing.
Really? What about you, Julia?
I'm a first generation college student, so I didn't know anything about college.
Yeah.
But I want to go because my parents came to this country to give us a better opportunity, so it's kind of like proving that they made it and like they brought their kids up right, and like we're going to college. But it's kind of weird because I don't know anything about college.
Are you going to be the first one in your family? You said first one, right?
Well, my sister's in college right now, but we're the first in the family to go to college.
First in your family, okay. And did you always know you wanted to go to college since you were young, or like is it something new?
It's always been like what I wanted to do. So
yeah. Do you believe that college is worth it for what it is? Because a lot of students, after college, they're in debt. They have to.
I think it's worth it if you need your college
if you make
degree.
the best out of it.
Yeah.
If you know, I think it's more worth it if you know what path you want to go down. Like you're going to college to get the degree because that's the job that you want to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah, like doctors, you need to have a degree to practice. But like if it's something that you can work with through, like start at a job and work your way up, I don't think it's necessary. But there's certain jobs that you need to have a college degree.
What would you say about somebody that's going into college undecided?
I think that if you're undecided, that you should start at a community college to kind of find your pathway so that you're not wasting money going to a 4-year not knowing what you do, because if you're undecided and there's a certain amount of classes you have to take for a major that you do decide, you're going to end up paying more because you have to be in college for longer because you have to take the classes required to get that. I'm going to Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon? What about you? Where are you going, Julie?
SF State.
SF State? Fire.
I knew to not go to community college because I already knew the pathway I wanted to go down. I already know that I wanted to be in the medical field, so there wasn't any interest in me to go to community college because I got into colleges that were beneficial to my career.
To your career, okay. And how exactly did you figure out, like, the whole process of actually applying and stuff? Because I know a lot of students, myself included, we had a hard time figuring out how to apply. And
Avid?
Okay.
We're both
Avid.
I
honestly think that it's not put out there enough. Yeah, people don't know how to get financial aid or scholarships or how to apply for certain things because it's not brought up. We're not taught about it.
I think if you don't have the resources or your parents haven't been, or you like don't have that experience, you don't know like much about college. Like my parents never went. I didn't know how to apply. I don't know how to do anything. But like if you're in programs that give you the resources to do it, like I don't know how else I would have done college without the resource.
So you think that if you want to go to college, you need to put yourself out there and ask the right questions? Because if you don't, you won't be able to apply for college.
I don't think it's that you won't be able to apply for college, but if you have the resources, you'll have more opportunities available to get better help, to do things right. Because especially for UCs, like in some private, you have to write essays, and those essays are obviously you're competing against a bunch of other people. So you want the help to make sure you're writing what should actually be included and make it professional so that you can be one of the top people.
Sorry, I was going to say, I feel like nowadays people know that they're like people don't know how to go to how to apply to colleges, so there is resources like if you look online, but like there should be a class. There should be a class
in senior year that like you go through the process with everyone, because that's what Avid is for senior year. Pretty much, you're going
through the process.
You have your classmates that are all applying for colleges. We're all doing scholarships. We're all filling out FAFSA for California Dream Act together. So we have the same questions that can be answered by people that know how to answer the questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not an Avid, you don't have those resources.
Yeah, because you have to remember, like, a lot of students, they don't know how to apply. And I feel like, especially myself, myself included, when I was applying for college and stuff, I remember it was very hard to figure out how to do it. I don't have, like, an older brother or an older sister. I'm first-time college in my family. So, yeah, I was, like, totally lost. Like Julie said, I asked her. She was pretty lost, too. She was pretty lost, too, if I remember correctly. But, like she said...
No, I wasn't.
Julie, come on.
Bro, I'm the one that told you.
Come on, Julie. Let's be honest.
You literally asked me at the couch.
Okay, aside from that, so... if you need help applying to college, it's not the end of the world. There are good people like Julie out here that will help you. And there are programs like Avid. Reach out to your counselor. Talk to people.
There's also 10,000 degrees.
Yeah,
10,000
if you're in the
degrees
Bay
help.
Area.
There are many programs. But, I also wanted to talk to you guys, like, about high school. How was high school? How was the experience of actually completing high school? And how was that? Like, high school and... yeah. In general.
It's like a very broad question. Like what aspect?
Well,
It's weird
we
because
could talk about like school, and we could also talk. We could talk about like education,
academic and
we could also
social.
talk about like social.
Okay.
So let's start off with social. How was how is high school socially, and what advice do you have for any freshmen that are in high school or middle schoolers that are going into high school this year? What advice would you give to them?
Your friends groups change.
Oh my god,
People
yes.
tell you it all the time, and I did not believe it as a freshman. I'm like, no, I'm going to go to high school, and I'm going to have the same friend group. But I can't tell you how many friends that I went throughout the 4 years of high school, because you figure out the people that you want to hang out with, and the people that benefit you in high school that you want to move through with, and then the people, like, that you just don't see in your life further, you kind of just drift off to them. And, like, it's not a bad thing, but your friends do change. And I feel like you get told that, but you don't believe it as coming.
We were told that so much, and we didn't believe them. And then, literally a month into school, we have a completely different friend group.
I totally agree. Myself included. When I was in middle school and I was like looking forward, to going to high school, I remember friends, people in general, just telling me, "Hey, your friend group is going to change a lot throughout those 4 years," and I didn't really believe it. I thought, "Hey, I'm going to stick with my best friend forever. I'm going to hang out with the same person every day." You have to have tough skin in high school, because if you take things personal, you'll lose a lot of friends. People might make rumors about you. People will talk down on you. You might get demotivated. I've been demotivated. I could admit that I've been demotivated many times.
Is that a word?
Demotivated, yeah. It's a word. Yeah, it's a word. It's a word. Don't worry.
I think it's unmotivated.
Is it a word or no?
I think it's
I think it's
Unmotivated? Okay, it's fine. For the sake of the argument, we'll just go with unmotivated.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I've been unmotivated many times, throughout the 4 years, and there have been days when I wake up and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to go to school. But
I'll have another thing that I learned. Senioritis is a thing.
Oh my god, yes.
I agree.
I was like, nah, people just say it.
They're just lazy.
Like, I can know
they don't
cross
know.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say it's
I mean, college applications are in. You know where you're going.
Right.
You want to like explain what senioritis is to people that don't know what it is?
When you're a senior and you just don't want to go to school anymore.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
so-called
That's pretty
disease.
It's
Illness.
fake.
Well, I'm a product of senioritis. As some
I can
of you
tell.
know.
You may know.
As of lately, I've been going to school. But,
You went back to class.
I've been back to class as of lately. But for a while, I wasn't showing up to school. But hey, I'm not saying you should do what I did. I'm saying what I did was I would sometimes not show up because of senioritis, which is a real condition. Okay? And I would do the work on my computer. So I didn't fall behind. But I wouldn't recommend missing out on school, period. Because if you do,
There's definitely things that you miss out in class.
yeah, there are things that you will miss out that are very important. So can we agree that you also have to you have to keep in mind that you could miss out sometimes in high school, but going to college is a whole different thing.
I feel like high school teachers are they're more caring and they want you. Well, obviously every teacher wants you to succeed, but your high school teachers are definitely more supportive
Your
And
college, your
if
college
you're
teacher won't
failing,
seek
they'll
you
help
out.
you. Yeah, your college teachers are just gonna be like, "Oh, you're failing. That's your fault. You didn't come to class." Or your high school teachers like, "Okay, let me get this work. Let me give you the work that you need to do in order to pass." College teachers they're not gonna just tell you that. Or like you'll have teachers that will go up to you like, "Hey, you have a D. Like you need to get your work in so you don't fail." But that's not gonna happen in college.
What would you say to students that are demotivated right now? Students that, they're at a point in their life right now where they think that there isn't really much of a point to go to school, and they just want to stay home, lay down all day, watch Netflix, Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
If you have, I think the only thing that's keeping me going to school is that I know where I'm going for college, and I know that I need to be motivated enough to keep my grades up to go to college.
Yeah.
And to learn. But I feel like those who are unmotivated and don't care to go to school after this, they're not going to go to school, because why would they? If they're not going to go to college after high school, why would they keep going to school if they don't care to get a degree?
Yeah, because if you know, like we know where we're going. Like if we don't pass, it's possible that we're not accepted into our school anymore. So
Yeah.
knowing what we want to do, like I don't want my future
Yeah, I
taken
feel
away.
like right
so
now, in your senior year, motivation comes from knowing that you're going to go to college and that you have like a plan after. If you don't really have a plan after, I feel like it already makes you unmotivated as is, because you're like, why am I going to work hard in my last 2 months of school if I'm not doing anything after?
What is it exactly you want to do after college? Do you know yet, or?
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow. Okay.
So my major is parks, recreation, and tourism. So with that degree, I want to go into the national parks or an outdoor nonprofit organizations.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, let's say for a student that doesn't know where to go right now, they're a senior. Let's say they're a senior. It's a little late now, right? But let's say they're a junior, right? And
Yeah, a junior looking into
yeah,
colleges.
a junior looking for colleges for next year. What would you say is one of the first things they should look at?
I think Naviance is a good resource.
Naviance, okay.
Yeah,
And
let's go. It's provided by, or at least our school has it. I think a lot of schools have it. But you can type in. It's kind of linked to your area, I'm pretty sure. But you can type in this college you want to go to, and it pulls up the majors that they have, the pricing.
They have
the rankings,
like an overview of
yeah.
like everything.
And I think it's the easiest
overview.
way to find just the information, like the basic information.
Also, Naviance has specific tests that, like, if you don't know, if you don't know anything, like where you want to go or where, like, what major, you take like a little survey thing, and they filter like based on your interest.
Okay, you heard it here, guys. If you guys need help with college, go to Naviance.com. Do you think that college sets you up to be financially stable? And
Can you repeat that?
do you think that college sets you up to be financially stable?
No,
If you are not already financially stable.
no.
Do you want to get more in detail about that? What do you mean?
College makes you broke.
College is expensive.
College makes you broke.
So,
I think it takes years for you to be financially stable. There's no way straight out of college you're going to be completely secure in your finances.
Yeah, I think it sets you up to get on a pathway to know how to become financially stable. Yeah. Like for me, I'm not gonna live in the dorm, so I'm gonna be living on my own, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to balance work, school, and paying for rent. So in a way, it is setting me up to be financially stable, because I have to work enough in order to be able to be paying my rent. So in certain situations, I'm not gonna be financially stable, but I'm gonna be getting set up to be financially stable, because I'm gonna have to balance how I'm gonna figure that out.
okay.
We're completely different financials.
Yeah, I know.
Financially speaking, do you think that there are a lot of programs, especially like here in California, where we are located in the Bay Area, where programs that could help you, pay for college?
Let's get into this.
I think there's a lot of programs, but you have to search for them.
Yeah.
I think that they're not made aware. Like, I wouldn't say until this year that I was really made aware of, like, I still feel like I'm not know a ton of programs that can help pay for college.
Also, some programs even start you early. Like, there's some programs we found about our sophomore year that we had to apply to get into it for junior year. But you have to know, and if you don't know, you would never know about them.
I feel like that's one of the issues, that there really should be a class, like an A through G requirement class, that that teaches you about college, like a college course, you know,
Yeah, 'cause
before you
you're just
actually
thrown
go into
into it.
college, because you have to remember that not every student has an older sibling, not every student has a mentor, a
Yeah.
parent that went to college that could help them, you know. Some students, some of the, you know, a large
Even if your
percent.
parents do that, like my mom went to college, but that was years ago. Like it's changed since then. Like she didn't know how to
Yeah.
help me.
A lot, like honestly, the majority of students that don't go to college, they don't go to college because they don't know how to go to college. They don't know how to apply. They think that there's no financial help out here. The thing is that there's a lot of programs. There's scholarships, there's financial aid, there's grants, there's loans. There's a ton of ways you could pay for college. So don't let how much money you have right now in the bank, or don't let your financial status determine if you want to go to college or not. You know, you should talk to your counselor, talk to advisors, talk to people, reach out. Go online, just look up scholarships. If you're in the Bay Area, look at the 10,000 degree program.
And Students Rising Above.
FAFSA as well. There's a lot of programs. A lot of programs. So
Cal Grants.
California
Grant.
Dream Act.
Oh,
For
yeah,
those who are
Dream
not
Act.
documented.
there is a handful of programs out here that will help you. So when we really think about college as a whole,
Mhm.
there's obviously different ways you could go to college. There's obviously the 4-year state university. There's the private. Then there's community college, and then there's trade school, and there's like a bunch of different programs. There's certificate programs.
Mm-hmm.
How does a person determine which program or which college specifically, which kind of college they go to? How do you determine that? How do you determine if you want to go to a private,
It's
in-state?
determined on your liking, like what you like. Like I did not see myself going to a private school, but because and it wasn't even something I would consider. But I think you have to do I just think it's based on what you like about a school and what you're going to school for. Like obviously if you want to go into plumbing or mechanics or
Trade
like
school.
you wouldn't go to college, you'd go to trade school because it's meant for that.
Yeah.
So you determine on where you're going to go to school based on what your likings are and what you want to move forward with.
Do you prefer virtual, or do you prefer in
I
person?
prefer in person because I'm hands-on learner.
Hands-on learning. Okay. What about you, Julie? What do you prefer? Do you prefer in person or online?
In person.
Okay, so do you have any final advice for students that are in high school and plan to go to college? Do you have any final advice? Any final words? You know, anything you would, tell? Anything you would say to all of the people that are watching this?
Start researching colleges junior year
Start early.
because we did research, but I didn't take it seriously until I was like, oh, I need to fill out college applications, but I have no idea where I want to go.
The deadlines were coming up, and you're like, okay, you need to pick what colleges you are going to so you can submit it, and you're like, oh shoot. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
don't
like
know.
you should start even sophomore, junior, start like visiting colleges and like figuring out like you might not know what major you want to go to yet, but like start figuring out like what kind of camp, like what you would want to feel on when you walk into a campus, like what preferences you have, because it's definitely going to shape where you should go.
Students need to remember that once you choose your major, even if you go undecided, or if you do choose a major, you could always change your major. So it's not the end of the world. Let's say you go in for biology, and then you change your mind. You're like, hey, I want to go into biochemistry.
That's true.
You just have to remember that at the end of the day, everybody's college experience is going to be different. There's
Yeah.
people that are going to be partying. There's people that are going to be studying. There's people that are going to join fraternities. People are going to volunteer, join clubs. Some people are just going to be antisocial, and that's okay. Hey, if you want to do that, it's okay. You don't have to be super social. Now, I will say this, from the research that I've done and from talking to other individuals who have went to college, one thing I've learned is that networking yourself when you're at college is one of the most important things. If you don't network yourself and build long-lasting connections that will help you outside of college, then depending on the major, depending on what you want to do after college, it might not help you. Like, let's say you're going to go in for business. Let's say you're going in for business marketing or any concentration of business. Okay, you guys. So I want to give you guys a thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate your guys' help. And you have any final words you want to say to the podcast, or?
Hopefully you guys get something out of this. If
Yeah.
you're applying to colleges.
You're applying it. You heard it here, guys. So,
Good luck.
Remember to check out all the resources.
thank you for tuning into the Off the Grid podcast. It should be episode 3, but it's the first episode of these kind of videos where I'm going to interview
The
students.
college
The
podcast.
college podcast. Okay, Off the Grid podcast. Subscribe, like the video. And yeah, tune in for the next one.
Give it a like.
Thank you guys.